actually says that the application for stay has been denied, and it says it's been denied for two reasons. First,
hello, federal colorman lawyers and federal colorman judges. So we're about to have a good conversation, my bitch, okay? So, Donald Trump. So are you an ally of him? Do you feel like he made any type of vocabulary stunt here in America for us citizens? Arena. So now, let's actually explore more in this conversation real quick. So, when are you going to have him in prison? Getting him out of the White House floor? Remember, president law bills are signed, and you're not reviewing what law bill is trying to take effect to the humanitarian. That's where I tell you, bitch, I need your help. Actually go through to find out what type of topic was Trump trying to explore to the humanitarian here in America. Please do your research. Find out the attitude to actually bring forth the evidence towards us to speak of. But anyway, bitch, let's watch this video. Let's explore more. Drink your ass some tea or some wine and eat you a lovely dinner. Know what, bitch? Drink you some wine, eat your dinner, and then drink some tea to freshen yourself up. Now let's watch this.
Supreme Court has just announced that it is refusing the effort from Donald Trump's team to stay a decision on Trump's sentencing in his hush money criminal case here in New York, scheduled for Friday. Again, the Supreme Court now refusing to stop former President Trump's sentencing. The president-elect was scheduled to be sentenced after being found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records as it related to so-called hush money payments to the former porn star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. You'll recall during the summer of 2024, during footage like this, when the former president was coming to and from a criminal courtroom here in New York, that he vehemently denied the allegations against him, but ultimately a jury of his peers found him guilty of falsifying business records, and that preceded the election where most voters found that they still...
What's happening, people? Welcome. Dr. John Podcast is here, so this is happening right now. Trump is simultaneously a convicted felon on 34 counts and yet has faced no punishment, while the Supreme Court effectively killed the most serious criminal case against him. It sounds like legal fiction, but this is the actual paradoxical status of a sitting president. Donald Trump is the first president in American history convicted of felony crimes. Not accused, not indicted, convicted. A jury of 12 ordinary New Yorkers looked at the evidence in the hush money case, deliberated, and found him guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. 34, not one, not five, 34 separate felonies. That conviction is real. It's on his record. It will be in every history book ever written about this era. And yet, here's the twist that breaks people's brains. That same man is sitting in the Oval Office right now. And thanks to the Supreme Court, he may never spend a single day in a courtroom for the most serious charges he's ever faced.
Most American voters found they still wanted him to become the next president of the United States, so it set up this...
So that message right there, future president of Donald Trump, is false. He served 2 terms as presidency. He is a convicted felon. His spot in life is prison cell room. Lock him up, throw away the key. He served death row in prison. But now, bitch, let's watch more. Drink your ass some wine. Let's see.
highly unusual moment in American history where an incoming president would be sentenced in a criminal case in New York. So before Friday's sentencing, Donald Trump's legal team actually requested that the Supreme Court intervene and stop the sentencing on the grounds that the Supreme Court ruled that a president cannot be held accountable, or even a former president, for any actions that are part of an official act of a presidency. And so, as we look into the decision from the Supreme Court, we can read you a portion of it now. And it essentially says that the application for stay has been denied, and it says it's being denied for two reasons. First, and I'm quoting here, the alleged evidentiary violations at President-elect Trump's state court trial can be addressed in the ordinary course on appeal. So the Supreme Court saying that it does not need to intervene in this sentencing.
Can you believe this? A convicted felon shielded by the presidency? Both things at once. This is the impossible contradiction that...
So shoulder is neglect. I, Pharaoh Nefertiti, home bases, Egypt. The fireworks, and then you saw eyes, my eyes, that's me. So that notification message that he would not be a convicted felony and be serving death row in prison. His crimes and misdemeanor actions were 34 counts of felonies. His time as president has been expired. Find a new man to be in the election house. Now you understand why I closed the White House. We're finding out more evidence based on Trump and the other presidents. So bring forth their arguments, see what you could find out. Now let's watch this video and go through Trump paperwork. Okay, bitch? Now let's watch.
That defines American politics in this moment. Now, follow the timeline with me because this is where the story gets truly wild. Back in the spring of 2024, the Supreme Court hands down a blockbuster immunity, ruling that gives presidents absolute immunity for core official acts and presumptive immunity for everything else. That decision gutted and stalled the federal January 6th case, the big one, the election interference case, pushing any trial past the election. Critics said the court did the unthinkable. They said the court had essentially placed the president above the law. Then, just days before his second inauguration, Trump's lawyers raced back to that same...
He is not above the law. Criminally indict Donald Trump. Justice upon him of justice report will guarantee the victorious sons of Donald Trump and his silly friends, Republican pedophiles. Now let's watch some more. Drink your ass some tea, bitch.
Same Supreme Court and begged them to block his sentencing in the New York hush money case.
Because any of the issues that the president-elect has can be addressed on ordinary course on appeal. The second reason the Supreme Court provides is that, quote, the burden that sentencing will impose on the president-elect's responsibilities is relatively insubstantial in light of the trial court's stated intent to impose a sentence of unconditional discharge after a brief virtual hearing. Now, that's a reference to the latest developments out of this criminal court in Manhattan, where Judge Juan Merchan has said that it is likely that the sentence imposed on President-elect Trump will be what is described as an unconditional discharge. Moments ago on the Daily Report, we had a conversation about what that means, and it effectively means that Trump, as someone who has no prior criminal record, no previous incidents, and of course being a man of high stature as a former president and now as an incoming president, wouldn't have been sentenced to jail time. Seeing an image
Surely the court that gave him the immunity shield would save him again, right? Wrong. In a 5-4 order, the court said no delay, no rescue, go get sentenced. And so, on that January morning, Donald Trump stood before Judge Juan Merchan as president-elect and was sentenced as a convicted felon days before taking the oath of office. That had never happened before in 250 years. Come on, you could not write this as fiction. Nobody would believe it. But here's where it gets even stranger. The sentence itself. Judge Merchan gave Trump something called an unconditional discharge. Now, if you've never heard that term, buckle up, because most people haven't. Unconditional discharge means no prison, no fine, no probation, nothing.
And that message right there is the immediate conversation report. So, go into the judge file who wanted to try to get that stunt towards Donald Trump report. Yeah, season controlments of that message of him. And actually review his casework of what we could find out of his dismiss. So Trump will go to prison. He'll serve death row publicly. So, thank you. See what topic you could find out watching this video also too, please. Thank you.